Hey, what's up you guys? The Dark Knight here back with another video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the long-awaited Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man in his final swing suit. Taking a look at the packaging over here, this is actually a pretty new sort of packaging that it's kind of similar to what we've seen in the retro line of Spider-Man figures, where it's got the sort of like the cardboard retro card, and then you have the window box at the front there that kind of showcases the figure. But this is a brand new design, and this design goes hand in hand with the Spider-Man No Way Home merchandise. It's got like the gold highlights going throughout the box. You got all three Spider-Man now displayed on the box at the top there. What I do find interesting though is that was the original concept art from the film. Like, this is like very early concept art, so I'm surprised that they didn't get anything new in terms of the merchandise promotional material. But anyway, you do have Marvel Legends down there. Spider-Man would be displayed in this box. A bit of a secret with this, I was kind of annoyed with these sort of boxes because I like to keep the packaging in good condition, and these sort of boxes, they're hard to get the figure out without ruining the box. The best way that I found for me to open up this box is you would go from the bottom, slip in here, and you would like insert like a little piece of like plastic, like a hard piece of plastic, and sort of like slice around. And yeah, it does leave like a bit of an ugly look there, but at least when you attach it back, you don't really notice it that much. So it's damage control is what it is. But I found that that's the best way to open it. We do get Spider-Man No Way Home at the top over here. At the back over here, you do get the wonderful artwork once again. And yeah, once again, this is very early concept art. Like, I remember when this movie came out, they wanted to keep the three Spider-Man a secret. And when they first came out with the movie and everyone knew, oh, Tobey and Andrew was in the film, this was pretty much the same piece of artwork that they used on all the freaking merchandise. Like, when I was looking on places like Hot Topic and that, they would only have this shirt with three Spider-Man on it, which I found very interesting. I'm surprised that there's no other sort of promotional material that they use. But anyway, you do get Spider-Man at the top of there. You get a little bio for Peter Parker. We got Marvel Legends at the top of there as well. A bit of warnings down here, and there's the UPC code if you're looking for this figure. And yeah, there's no real sides because it's just a slab of cardboard, and that's about it with the packaging. So taking a look at this figure over here, I must say this figure in particular, this Spider-Man, out of all the other No Way Home figures, was the one I've been looking forward to the most. And when I talked about when these figures were originally revealed, I was thinking that they were gonna show off another integrated suit Spider-Man, as that was pretty much the main suit to be used in this film. Because this suit over here, which I think is known as the final swing suit, it's also known as the new red and blue suit, was mainly seen like only at the end of the film, and it was only seen at the end, and I don't even think the costume exists in real life. It was fully CGI in the film. They were kind of figuring out what kind of Spider-Man look they wanted to go for, and it really shows in this design that they were really looking for going for a more classic, red and blue Spider-Man from the comics with the black lines and everything. So this figure over here, it looks really nice in my opinion. The accessories for this figure are actually pretty good over here. As you can see, it does come with an alternate unmasked, Tom Holland, Peter Parker Spider-Man head. This one looks pretty good for the most part. It's Tom Holland. And actually, these figures, like, over time, Hasbro has gotten really good at their photoreal technology that they have, grown accustomed to using with these figures. And I think this is probably the best we've seen it for a Tom Holland Spider-Man. He also does come with these hands over here. He has a pair of open hands, a pair of thwipping hands, and then a pair of fists on the figure as of right now. And these hands look pretty good as well too. They got that black web pattern that's going on, and they look pretty nice. Taking a look at the figure itself over here, as you can see, this Spider-Man masked head sculpt looks pretty good. It goes in with the rest of the figure, matching with, as you can see, it's got a bit of a meshy sort of material that looks very much like a Spider-Man costume. And it's got a bit of a flat sort of red going on with it, a flat red plastic, and then the black lines have this sort of like shine to it, which really adds to the depth of the figure, I think. The lenses here do look pretty good. It also is a little bit more shinier, as well as the white there too. You can see it's got a bit of a shiny white in there. And yeah, and the lines, for the most part, they did a pretty good job on. There are some areas where they're a little bit messy, like you can see right above, you know, the neck over there, right under the neck, I should say. But overall, I think with my figure at least, it came out pretty clean. The spider symbol right there, or the emblem, or whatever you want to call it, it looks pretty good too. Yes, it does look a little bit small, but it's not so bad to the point where it really bothers me. I think it actually came out pretty nice. And then the rest of the suit over here, you can see it's got a flat blue with a bit of a little bit of a shininess to it. And I know in the movie, the blue was a little bit lighter. It was a little bit of a lighter blue, and it was very shiny. It looked like a very shiny Spider-Man. And although, you know, that's the accuracy to the film, I do like the color of this blue a little bit more. It very much looks like a more comic accurate Spider-Man with this color of a blue. And then also the emblem back here too, you can see that looks amazing as well. You got the belt over here with the nice black lines as well. And once again, for the most part, pretty clean. No huge complaints with the paint job in these, especially for, you know, it being a $24 to a $34 figure in Canada. And yeah, and you got the nice blue going on over there. You do see a little bit of marbling going on, which kind of sucks, but it's not that noticeable. And then the boots over here too, it's got that web lining going in as well too, with the nice shiny black against the flat red. And then there's the top of the feet, and you got 2 peg holes at the bottom there. As for articulation on the Spider-Man, it's actually a bit of a newer, this is all around a brand new sculpt. So the head is on a ball joint that is kind of like separate, so it's able to move around really well. It can look up, it can look down, it can swivel. There's a bit of a pivot in there, really nice pivot at that. You do want to be careful though, because especially with me removing this head, this sort of like the way how it connects into the figure over here really feels like there's a high chance of breaking it, and that goes for the rest of the figure. You do want to warm up your figures before you start you know, fooling around with them, so just be very mindful of that. The arms do have a butterfly joint in here, as well as, you know, the typical arm joint. It goes up like that, and the butterfly joint only lets it swivel in and out just like that. It can go forward because it's on a ball peg. It can go back. There's a bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbows, which are pretty hard. There you go. So it can go in very far, which is very nice. And another thing with these elbows I didn't mention is that they do not have the pegs anymore, so I'm really happy to see that's gone. And then of course you do have the hands over here, which swivel and then hinge up and down. We've seen that before. You do have a new diaphragm joint in here though. All the previous Tom Holland Spider-Man figures have had just an ab crunch, but now you get a diaphragm joint, so this is really good. You can go down, you can move back, you got a bit of a pivot in there, it can swivel all around. Really awesome stuff. And then he does have a bit of a lower, you know, sort of hip crunch, I guess you would call it, which does allow for an extended amount of articulation. And for the most part, the sculpt stays in there pretty well. As you can see at the top of here, it doesn't look too bad. And then when he's moving forward, you know, it doesn't look too bad over there either. And then a new thing with these legs over here is that they are now drop down. I think this is the only Spider-Man figure out of the new ones that have drop down hips, but you just want to pull down like that and you get a bit of an extended range of articulation. I do want to stress very much though that this feels very, very delicate, and I would completely advise that you guys warm up your figure before you articulate them, because the amount of times I feel like I'm gonna break this damn thing is it's crazy. And I'm even like, I don't even know if I want to do work with the hips over here, but I know, okay, yeah, it can split that much. I'm being very careful. I don't know what Hasbro's done with their new sculpted figures, but these feel very delicate now, and I'm just so scared of breaking these figures. But he can also kick forward. Oh my god. If I break this, man. You kick forward like that, and you can go He can kind of go back. It's just his butt here is kind of hindering it. So you just want to be careful. That's all I'm going to show with the hips over there, but you kind of get the idea. It's dropped down and it's a ball peg. Just warm up your figure before you do anything. He does have a thigh swivel in here as well too, which adds for extra articulation. Once again, the hinges on the knee over here are non-existent, which is good. Or I should say the pegs, but it bends in pretty far as well too, which is great. And then the toes can move down, they can move up, and of course they have the ankle pivot, which is great. And for my comparison today, I have Tom Holland's Final Swing Suit Spider-Man over here next to the Venom, the Tom Hardy Venom. And I think this is the best thing about Marvel Legends, at least for me. When we get these figures, especially when they're from different universes and that sort of stuff, we really have the freedom to create whatever we want. And we have not seen the classics Tom Holland Suit Spidey go up against the Tom Hardy Venom yet. So I'm really glad that we have these two figures now, so we can kind of have that fantasy. I don't know, that may sound a little bit weird, but I'm just glad to actually see these two figures together and sort of like paint a picture of like what exactly Tom Holland's Spider-Man would be like up against Tom Hardy's Venom. So I find that very cool. The height difference is pretty good there too. And of course the Kingpin over here that I previously reviewed, go check out the video. They do stand pretty well together. I think that that's a good height difference between Kingpin and Spider-Man. If you guys want to compare to your figures at home, I have a ruler here to show you. His height is at about, it looks like 5 3/4. So do with that as you must. So final thoughts on Final Swing Suit Spider-Man over here. What can I say? I love this thing. As soon as I got out of the theater when watching Spider-Man No Way Home, the main thing that I was really looking forward to, well, I mean, I love the film in itself, but at least for, you know, collecting action figures, the main thing I was looking forward to was the Final Swing Spider-Man suit. I said right out of the theater, this is my favorite look for Spider-Man in the films. And although at first it was, you know, it was Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man suit, I must say, like, this one's by far my favorite. It's the most accurate to the comic book Spider-Man, and I think here it was just translated so well, and the articulation is absolutely fantastic on this figure. The paint is good. It actually came out really well. The quality was actually pretty good on this figure from what I've seen on previous Hasbro Marvel Legends products. I think it just really depends on the type of figure you get. So when you really do want to look out to make sure that you know, the paint looks really good on your figure if you're going to plan on buying it. I do love the accessories that this figure comes with. It is a little bit lackluster, not including a Build-A-Figure piece. I find that a little bit disappointing, and I would have wanted to see the more classic you know, Marvel Legends packaging instead of these retro card ones. Like, don't get me wrong, I love retro cards, but for a figure like this, when you know you're going to open it, like, I don't know. I still love this figure, and this is going to be my main movie Spider-Man from now on. I already have this, you know, sort of collection going on with all the Sinister Six going up against Spider-Man, because this to me is my ideal movie Spider-Man, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the future. One thing I would really like to add on to this figure, and I want to make it very cautionary to anyone who are buying these figures, is that although we're getting some really nice articulation now with these Marvel Legends figures, or at least from what I've seen from this wave so far, because I'm not just talking about this Tom Holland Spider-Man, I've noticed this with all the figures that have come out in the No Way Home lineup, is that I'm seeing a bit of wonkiness with the material they're using. Now, I don't know if it's a new plastic that they're using or not, but these joints, they feel stiff as heck, man. Like, very, very stiff. So I've already said it before when I was in the articulation segment. Guys, whenever you're, you know, articulating these figures, they're going to break if you don't warm them up. Warm them up under a hair dryer, and I feel like that's a quality control thing. I don't know if that's really the fault of this figure, because this figure turned out great, as I already said. It's just the type of material that they're using for it at least I don't think it's the strongest, and I think that should be improved when it comes to future action figures. But other than that, I would say it's a definite pickup. It's a great Spider-Man figure. If you guys really love the No Way Home film and you really love Spider-Man and you're excited for Spider-Man upcoming in the MCU, this is definitely a figure to get. They may reuse this because I know that this costume will probably be reused for the next film, so they may reuse the figure, but, you know, by the sounds of it right now, that may be years down the line. So if you guys can find this figure, this is a definite pickup. So with that said, you guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this figure in the comments down below. Do you like this costume? Is this your favorite Spider-Man costume? And if not, let me know what your favorite Spider-Man costume is. And as every YouTuber begs you to do, please like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.